Welcome to the UK news on October 6th in 2021. And suddenly we are confronted with the Green Boris. We can achieve completely clean energy generation by 2035, Johnson told journalists on Monday at the Tories conference in Manchester. This will make the UK less dependent on foreign electricity, which, depending on price fluctuations, is a burden on the wallet of British consumers. Relying on your own clean energy will help keep prices down. So far, the country has a capacity of around 10 gigawatts of offshore wind farms, which is to be quadrupled by 2030. If this goal were achieved, it has been calculated that all British households could be supplied with electricity. But they count in a lot of that in Scotland. Scotland, there was something, wasn't it? However, there are concerns that further expansion could become less attractive if the price for wind energy continues to fall, as providers will then be able to earn less money with it. The British want to shut down the last coal-fired power plants as early as 2024, but they still rely on nuclear energy. Before the UN World Climate Conference COP26 in Glasgow, at which Great Britain wants to present itself as a climate protection pioneer, the British government is expected to make even more specific announcements. Specific would be something new with that government. So far, the country has set itself the goal of reducing its emissions by 68% by 2030 compared to 1990 levels. However, the concrete measures taken so far are not sufficient for this. And Prime Minister Boris Johnson also has now admitted that bottlenecks in petrol and supermarket deliveries have something to do with Brexit. Well, I told you that all the time. That should not have been easy for the government. But the tension in supply chains and in sub-labor markets is also arising precisely because many continental workers have left the UK. Establishing this has nothing to do with malicious glee or righteousness, but is part of the cost-benefit balance of the exit with which Johnson boasts. This also applies to the Northern Ireland Protocol. The government that negotiated it threatens to suspend it because it turns out to be cumbersome in practice. Many had seen the dispute over the de facto customs checks in the Irish Sea coming in exactly the same way. A few thousand temporary visas for truck drivers will not bring the relaxation that drivers and consumers are hoping for, if any are coming at all. Because Johnson does not want to go back to the free mobility of workers for which one of his predecessors, Blair, had vehemently advertised at the time. The Brexit voters would have voted against a failed economic model, a model that incidentally also bears Margaret Thatcher's clear signature. Not least from this speaks the new economic populism of the Conservatives. It remains to be seen whether this pays off politically and whether former Labour voters stick with it. The question now is whether people will take it all indifferently, and then how many Britons will take on the job that Europeans once did. I doubt that it will be too many. And British new car registrations, that fits in here, fell last month by 35% year on year to 214,000 units, according to preliminary industry data on Tuesday that marked the weakest September for at least 23 years. The Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders said the auto industry continued to be plagued by a global shortage of semiconductors used in the production of cars. With widespread panic buying at the petrol pumps last month caused by a shortage of goods and fuel vehicle drivers, the SMMT said that more than 32,000 battery-powered cars were registered last month, which is a new record. British license plates denote the age of a vehicle and update every March and September, meaning these are usually bumper months for car registrations as buyers like to show they have the newest model. The SMMT will publish final August figures today. Tax cuts are something that was promised too with Brexit. British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak said on Monday that tax cuts could only come once public finances had been put on a sustainable footing. Last month, the government set out plans to raise taxes on workers, employers, and some investors to try to fix a health and social care funding crisis angering some in his governing party by breaking election promises. Speaking to a packed hall at the governing Conservative Party's annual conference in the northern English city of Manchester, Sunak said he believed in fiscal responsibility. There can be no prosperous future unless it is built on the foundation of strong public finances. And I have to be blunt with you, our recovery comes with a cost. Our national debt is almost 100% of GDP. So we need to fix our public finances, he said after entering to a standing ovation. Yes, I want tax cuts, but in order to do that, our public finances must be put back on a sustainable footing. Sunak will give a half-yearly update on the public finances and economic outlook on October 27th, when he is also expected to outline longer-term public spending plans after his massive coronavirus pandemic stimulus package. And now, one topic where we go away from Brexit. The Catholic Church in Scotland is establishing an independent oversight body to deal with abuse complaints against members of the clergy. The move follows a series of scandals surrounding allegations of sexual violence. In these, the church was held responsible for not adequately responding to allegations, as the broadcaster BBC reported. The church said the Scottish Catholic Safeguarding Standards Agency, the SCSSA, would ensure reliability, transparency and accountability. The SCSSA will operate completely independently of the church, with its own staff and board of directors who will work closely with dioceses and religious orders to ensure they are able to meet national security standards, said the Bishop of Aberdeen, Hugh Gilbert. A separate procedure will be developed that enables an independent review of complaints and, above all, creates a forum in which those affected by abuse can bring their own perspectives on the development of a protection concept, said the bishop. The search for a chairman and members of the body will soon begin, but it will take some time before it's founded, said Gilbert. And he said, "We asked for your patience and support while this process is ongoing." And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.